see a timer. What day was it again?
It's the 8th of July, yes. 2018.
Well, okay, you just heard it. So it's July 8th, 2018, Sunday, and the week of Gary is over, and Gary's about to head to the Kennedy Airport to go home. So we had a great time this week, and we went to 5 bookstores. Second Time Books in New Jersey, the Book Trader in Clark, New Jersey, the Book Review in Huntington, Long Island, the Book Barn in Niantic, Connecticut, and Friends of the Library in Poughkeepsie. And because Gary's books are all packed up, we can't show you them. But I did buy 44 or 45 books, so we're about to go through those, and Gary's going to be doing the guest commentary.
So quite restrained this week.
So, do you remember any of the books that you purchased?
No.
No. Okay, so we can't hear about those. Wait, there was one about Wounded Knee.
Yeah, there was a small paperback book from the Cody Museum, or Centre of the West, Buffalo Bill Museum, about Wounded Knee. Very interesting looking.
Oh, and he also bought a copy of the book we're about to show you. There were 2 copies.
Right,
so, The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, a novel by John le Carre. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
And I only bought this because Gary bought a copy, and I seen him reading that author, so I thought I'd give it a try. So, what's that book about? Have you read it?
I've read it. I can't remember what it's about.
Okay, but, it's a mystery.
It's a spy story based in the 1960s. All of le Carre's books are good. He's a good writer, intelligent writer, very quick read, good fun, well worth reading.
And best of all, 50 cents. Okay. Dashiell Hammett, The Continental Op.
Well, Dashiell Hammett was actually, I think he worked for Pinkertons, didn't he? As well as being a writer.
I think so, yes.
And very authentic stories. Once more, well worth reading. Read everything Dashiell Hammett.
1920s and 30s or 30s and 40s?
Right. 30s-ish, that 30s, kind of era, yeah. Did he write the Maltese Falcon? Or?
Yes.
Yeah. But once more, everything he wrote is worth giving a try.
My 3rd copy. I don't know why. Okay. Raymond Chandler, Farewell My Lovely.
I've read this as well. I can't remember the story, but once more, Raymond Chandler I'd put in the same category as Dashiell Hammett. Read it.
Robert Mitchum's on the cover of this one.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's very good. Moonraker. Great cover.
By Ian Fleming.
Oh, yeah. Ian Fleming. Obviously, it's a James Bond book. And I've read this one, probably read it a few times. Well,
you have read it a few times?
Yeah, I've read Farewell My Lovely a couple of times as well. But I remember this one. This is a guy whose plan is to take over the world. They made a film of it, but the film isn't really...
Is the film not as good as the book?
No.
It's goofy. The films are goofy, right?
The film is really a pale shadow of the book. The book, I like Ian Fleming. People criticise him, but actually, he's really good.
Though they say he was a little bit like racist, maybe, right? But he was writing. That was how he was. People were at the time.
Yeah, probably just reflecting the times. Yeah, not kind of
not personal
overtly
hatred towards anybody. Just that he was just being a person of his time, and how he expressed himself.
He was a kind of upper class guy. Probably saw himself as superior to most people.
Good luck saying his last name.
This is Guadalcanal Diary by Richard Tregaskis. Is that it?
Tregaskis or something. I'm not sure how you would say it.
The epic hour-by-hour account of U.S. Marines in battle. I saw a film of this when I was young. I don't really know very much else about it. That was the War in the Pacific, Guadalcanal, wasn't it?
I have the movie but haven't watched it yet. And this is my 2nd copy of this paperback.
Because one is not enough. Mountain Man by Vardis Fisher. And this was made into the film Jeremiah Johnson. I've read the book and I've seen the film. In fact, I saw the film again recently and it's a good film. In fact, very good film. One is Robert Redford, is
yes, and he's on the cover.
Oh yeah. One of Robert Redford's best, and a good book as well. Well written, nice detail.
That's a personal favorite. What I like about that book, and I'll never forget, is that the character...
Is that your first copy?
No. I have 7 or 8 of them. With Robert Redford on the cover, plus without him on the cover. But one thing about that book, I remember when I was reading it, I was living in Montana at the time, and whenever it would like storm in the movie, there was a storm, the character in the movie, Sam, I forget his last name, would sing. He would just love like the bad weather, and he would sing out loud for joy. And so now every time when it rains, since that time, like the last 20 years of my life, every time there's like a bad storm or it rains, I think about that book and that character, and it makes the storm not so bad that it's raining.
Helen McInnes, Cloak of Darkness. I don't know anything about this, but it says on the back, when Bob Rennick of Intel, a counter-terrorist agency, discovers his name on the minus list, it is just the beginning of a riveting tale of suspense that sweeps from London to New York, Washington, Paris, Chamonix, Amsterdam, Zurich, and exotic Djibouti. Sounds like something for Steven Seagal, doesn't it?
Helen McInnes wrote espionage novels starting with World War II, and one of them I read so far was really good, made into a movie with Fred MacMurray, which was not so great. But I like her.
What was that film?
It was one of her first books, but I can't remember the name of the movie. No. Can't remember the name of it. Fred MacMurray was in it.
I've not read anything by her.
And it was pretty good. You want to see something?
No.
Okay, next. A copy closer to Gary's heart.
This is Deadwood by Douglas Hurt. I don't know anything about this, but it says, by the 1870s, the greed for gold had engulfed the American West. Wild mining towns grew where there was once only the whistle of the wind, etc.
Custer's in this novel. That's why I bought it. It's Black Hills, Deadwood, and Custer. And Hurt is Hirt, if you're looking it up. It's
This is
he was the editor.
This is a sci-fi book called Generation. And it's edited by David Gerald, and I presume that it's a collection of short stories. Yes. Is it?
And mostly I bought it because the cover was really cool.
Well, I was going to say it's got a nice cover. I don't know anything about the.
I'm hoping the stories are good, but the cover was nice, and it was 50 cents.
Well, you can't go wrong. I don't recognise any of the authors, but I'm sure it'll be good. We Were There at the Battle for Bataan by Benjamin Appel, and this is another war in the
World
Pacific.
War II. I would say on the back. We didn't do our homework in advance. Yeah, Japanese. Where did I just see that? Japanese, right? Pacific War.
I don't know anything about this at all, but it looks as though it's. I wonder if it's a film spin-off. Because it says historical consultant Major General Courtney Whitney.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but it was $1.
Can't go far wrong for $1.
Nice cover. This is a humorous book.
See Here, Private Hargrove.
The guy's name was Marion.
By
Marion. It doesn't. I mean, that's saying.
Marion Hargrove, same name as John Wayne.
Oh yeah, Marion.
Marion,
that's right.
Yeah. I always thought that was a girl's name, but anyway.
Maybe that's with an A in at the end, not an O-N.
Anyway, I know nothing about this other than Mark's told me it's a.
It's supposed to be a humorous account of a soldier's experience in World War II.
There was Marion Hedgepeth, the outlaw, as well, wasn't there? Fancies and Good Nights by John Collier. Once more, I know nothing about this.
It's short stories, and I just saw it on the rack, the book rack. at the Book Barn in Niantic, and it looked interesting. And I looked it up. It had good reviews. It's a lot of short stories, and it's supposed to be kind of like weird. So
it's not.
I thought
John Collier, who was involved in the Indian Reorganisation Act.
I don't think so.
No. Was that John Collier?
It was a Collier, but I don't think that. I'm not sure.
No, I'm sure it wasn't.
It's not the same guy.
The Trembling Earth by Dale Van Every. I know the name. I may even have read some of his stuff years ago, but I don't know anything about this film. A turbulent novel of the days when men fought the cunning of their fellow man and defied the might of nature to open the rich Mississippi Valley. A first-rate historical novel, according to the Pasadena Star News.
So, if you don't know, I am an atheist, and if I may say, Gary is also. And when I opened up this book, there was like a part about a guy was like preaching about God or Jesus, and I just thought it was kind of funny. And he writes frontier novels, which are pretty decent. Also writes history, so I just thought it was kind of amusing listening to this guy preach. So I got it. Plus, it's a nice old vintage book.
This looks like something I probably wouldn't want to read. It looks depressing.
It looks that way.
The Execution of Private Slovic by William Bradford Huey. And apparently Private Eddie D. Slovic was the only soldier executed in the American Army in the Second World War for cowardice in the face of the enemy. It says that there were 49 who were sentenced to death and he was the only one executed. So I have to say it sounds pretty depressing.
It looked kind of like an interesting book, though.
Yeah, interesting subject.
And was there a movie? I thought I saw something about a movie somewhere. Maybe not.
You say, was there a movie? There was a film. I can't remember the name of the film, which has an American soldier being executed, and they play "Have Yourself a Very Merry Christmas" in the background as it's done. It's a very moving scene. I can't remember.
What's the name? I don't know if you're familiar with that one. What's the name of the movie that had Kirk Douglas in it? It's like he's in the French army and they execute like 3 soldiers because they didn't. The whole unit like didn't attack like they were supposed to, and they had to like get discipline or something, but they really couldn't attack, and then they picked out like 3 guys just to like kill at random. You ever see that movie?
No.
It was actually pretty sad, and it was a good movie though.
This one is Utmost Savagery. The 3 Days of Tarawa by Colonel Joseph H. Alexander, U.S. Marine Corps, retired. And I'm guessing this is another war in the Pacific. November 1943. And as it's written by a retired Marine Corps colonel, I presume he knows his stuff.
Hope so.
But I know nothing about it.
That's an English author, right? Is it?
I've never heard of him, no. Black Thursday by Martin Cadin. And the epic story of the most savage air battle ever fought, the Flying Fortress attack on Schweinfurt, October 14, 1943. I don't think I've even heard of that.
Neither did I, but it looked interesting.
Air battle. Yeah, sounds interesting.
And it's got a cool cover.
I'm guessing it would be American because it was the Americans who had flying fortresses, didn't they?
Yeah, but he wrote other books about air warfare, not just that.
This one is Alfred Hitchcock Presents Scream Along With Me. Now, I don't suppose he wrote this at all.
No, he would collect, or someone who worked for him would collect stories, the publisher.
Okay, so it's got great stories by Miriam Allen DeFord. Now, the only reason I recognise the name Miriam Allen DeFord is that I've got a book about Bonnie and Clyde written by her. I presume it's her. Thomas M. Dish. I think he was a well-known sci-fi writer. The other name...
Donald Westlake is familiar. He wrote some popular, gangster type or crime type books.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a good buy. What was that?
This was
50 cents or $1?
One or the other. I forget where I bought it. I don't remember where I got that one. Might have been the Book Barn, in which case it was $1.
Nice cover.
But I don't remember. And last of the paperbacks.
Valley of the Shadow by Ralph Peters. And it's a New York Times best-selling author. And
Custer's in that one. That's why I bought it.
It's about the Civil War. The desperate struggle for mastery of Virginia's Shenandoah Valley. Yeah, should be good. I'm not sure. Okay.
And we're back.
So this one I think you got from the Book Barn, did you?
Yes.
I know that because I had that in my pile.
Oh, you did?
And
you put it back and then I took it?
Well, because I've got to carry the stuff on a plane, I was trying to really reduce what I was buying. And this is Broadaxe and Bayonet by Francis Paul Prussia, who's a really good writer. I think he's some sort of...
is he religious?
Religious guy, yeah. But I don't think that gets in the way of his writing. And this is the role of the United States Army in the development of the Northwest, 1815 to 1860. So his books are usually quite academic, but I reckon that'd be a good book. In fact, I may even have a copy of it. I'm not sure.
You read this one, you said, I think.
Yeah, Overlord by Max Hastings. Max Hastings is a British journalist and he's got a good writing style. Probably not as good as an academic historian, but actually probably more accessible, and his books are a good read. And this is about the D-Day landings. Yeah, so, and I've read this, a good read, yeah. I think I bought it because I'd been on holiday a few times to Normandy and wanted to know more about it. This one I don't know anything about. Witness to Gettysburg by Richard Wheeler. And this is, can't see who it's published by, but I presume...
Is it on the side?
Yeah, probably is.
Meridian.
More than 50 detailed maps, portraits and sketches. Looks really interesting for if you want to know about Gettysburg. And if I wasn't having to carry everything on the plane, this would have tempted me.
I like to read first-hand accounts.
Yeah.
What people experience. This should sound familiar.
Oh yeah, this is another copy of Guadalcanal Diary. This is a hardback version. Nice map inside showing the location of Guadalcanal. It's got the Marine Corps badge in it as well. Good value. I'm just trying to see if it's a first edition. Some nice photographs. Yeah, it's the first edition, yeah. Printed in 1943. That's interesting.
Yeah, right when the war was still on.
Yeah. Ambrose Bierce, he was a journalist, wasn't he?
Yeah, he disappeared like around 1913. No one knows.
In Mexico, was it?
Yeah, it was 1911, 12, 13, somewhere around there.
Civil War stories. Are these? Is this?
He was in the Civil War. No, he did. Yeah, he wrote fiction. He wrote. It's kind of like, in the vein of maybe Edgar Allan Poe, kind of like macabre stories. Not all of them, but some of them. Just weird stories, maybe ghost type stories.
And he, as you say, disappeared, and no one knows what happened to him. Like Jimmy Hoffa. Probably not like Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, one of my guilty pleasures. But Gary bought a book about the person we're about to show you who this book is about. He bought a book by this
That's
person.
right, I did actually, yes. This is Becoming Jane Austen by John Spence. Did they make a film of this?
Yes.
Yeah, I've not seen the film, but I've started reading. I think we've both independently started reading Jane Austen without knowing that the other was. And
you got Northanger Abbey.
Yeah, I just bought.
Which I read.
Northanger Abbey, and I'm actually, for the plain pack, I've got Sense and Sensibility.
Oh.
I've not started it yet. And I recently read, not Pride, Persuasion.
Persuasion, yeah, you told me about that
one. This is, I presume, a biography.
Well, it's like a movie book.
Yeah, of the actor Jack Lemmon by Will Holtzman. Jack Lemmon was in that film where the men dress up as women, wasn't he?
Yeah, Some Like It Hot.
That was directed by Billy Wilder. That's a joke between us when Mark couldn't remember the name of the film.
Oh, you mean you knew it just now, but you made me have to remember it? Oh.
This is
$1.
I hadn't seen this one before I saw the pile of them. This is Mort Kunstler's Old West, and it's a book of Mort Kunstler's paintings of cowboys.
A little mini book.
Yeah, nice reproduction, so nice quality, and it's got were some of his paintings used as book covers?
Yeah,
I'm sure I've seen that on the
no,
cover.
That's from. Is that the painting that's on the cover of the Armand's book about Is that the painting?
Alias Frank Cancer?
Yeah, is that the painting on the cover? It
looks like it to me.
I think it might be.
Oh, actually, it looks like it's used on this novel as well.
Well, he used it on other. Yeah, they used it on other covers, but
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think that's from that.
Yeah. How much was that?
This was $1.
Well, a very good buy. Another one by Mort Kunstler, and this one is Indians, and this also has got some nice pictures in it. See if there's any I recognise. I'm sure there are.
Some D. Brown books that used his paintings on the cover.
I'm sure I recognise this one of some sort of battle. I don't know if anyone's
ever. Last stand. Oh, you're making a joke.
I was trying to make.
I blew it.
Yeah, he spoilt my joke.
Oh yeah, here, wait. Right on the cover of. Centennial.
Oh, I didn't realise that was him. Centennial Campaign, well worth reading itself. In fact, still a classic of the genre, as they say. Yeah. Another good buy. Is it? Yeah, it's recording.
Yeah.
This is a book that I was actually quite jealous of Mark getting, but I couldn't justify buying it because I already have it. But I've got it in paperback. It's Pueblo, Hardscrabble and Greenhorn by Janet LeCompte. And it's a book about little, I suppose, little towns and settlements in southern Colorado that were in competition with Bent's Fort in the early days. Really well researched, really well written, and a great find. And this was at the Book Barn, wasn't it?
Book Barn, it's like maybe $4.
I wish I had it. This is The Spirit of 76, the story of the American Revolution as told by participants, edited by Henry Steele Cumminer and Richard B. Morris. I'm not sure what this is about.
It's
some sort of rebellion, is it? Or?
This is an interesting book that...
It does look interesting.
Was it... Which one was it? It's basically participants telling their stories, and I think it might have also from the British side also accounts.
No, it looks like a really good buy. Henry Steele Cumminer.
He wrote a book about Native Americans that I have up there.
And I think he was one of the first people to gather original sources and publish them, wasn't he?
I'm not sure.
I think so, and I can't see when this was. This was published in 1983, but the original version looks... I can't read the Roman numerals, but... 67, is it? 68?
No, it would be 8. It would be 68 maybe, or 78.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't read the Roman numerals either.
It looks like a good buy.
Quite thick.
Yeah. 2 volumes in one.
Yes, that's right. Now this, I'll just tell you because it'll be hard to find. This is based on pension applications. Revolutionary War soldiers, when they wanted to get a pension, they'd have to do an application and tell their story, I guess. And so this book has those kind of accounts.
University of Chicago Press.
Yeah. So the title.
Oh yeah, The Revolution Remembered, and eyewitness accounts of the War for Independence, edited by John C. Dann. Now, I mean, I wonder in his editing whether he comments on the fact that having a financial interest, maybe they weren't quite wholly reliable in the way they described things. Who knows?
We'll find out.
I suppose, did they have an axe to grind in misrepresenting things?
Good find.
Yeah, good find there.
Now this is part of a six series set. I have 3 of them now. This is the 3rd one that I have found, and I find them always for like $1 or $2.
The Image of War, 1861 to 1865, and it's volume 1, Shadows of the Storm, and it's about the U.S. Civil War.
It's mostly a photographic essay book with text.
That looks really interesting. Good, it's got some really nice photographs in it, nicely reproduced, good quality, and some great maps on the end pages.
And $1. Now, I have to explain, we'll hold these up together. It's the same book twice, except this one is called Jane Austen's World, The Life and Times of England's Most Popular Author, and this one is called Jane Austen's World, The Life and Times of England's Most Popular Novelist. So they changed, this book came out first, then this one, and they changed pictures inside. That's why I bought both, because they have different pictures, but I think it's all the same text. Just a slight title change and a different set of pictures.
Oh, this looks really nice. I recognise places I've visited, and in fact I see Bath here where I was only a few weeks ago, and Jane Austen actually lived for a while in my hometown, so yeah, very interesting. We're racing through them.
We're almost done. Put these over here. We did those, so we're almost finished.